What's up, Panda dudes? Peter Von Panda here. Hey, I ordered myself a box of this Ample. It's a meal shake. It's a meal replacement shake. 400 calories, as you can see here. This is only a 6-bottle case here, but I wanted to check it out because Ample meals are getting a little bit of traction here, and I thought I'd show you what's included and maybe what it is. So 400 calories. It comes in a bottle like this, and you may see some correlation to some other products that I've looked at a little earlier. You know, this is Soylent. This is a meal replacement shake, 400 calories as well, fairly similar sized body or bottle and body. My body is similar in shape to this. But you know that this was designed basically to replace a meal. That was the whole kind of story about it for people that found eating a meal inconvenient or preparing food and just wanted to do something, not interrupt their programming, or in my case, adult films. You can just grab one of these and it should fill you up. You're going to probably want 4 or 5 of them during the day, depending on how many calories you want to intake. But it's not really meant for anything in particular like weight loss or weight gain or anything other than just meal replacement and kind of exactly what your body needs. Ample is maybe a little bit different from what I understand it to be. It comes with 6 of these bottles right here, just like that. A little more colorful. There's a couple more here. Then obviously the Soylent, some pretty snazzy labels here and kind of a matte finish. Kind of cool looking. There's some information on the back here, and it's my understanding that, here's the card that talks a little bit about it. 30 ingredient blend, prepared to deliver optimal nutrition. So very much similar to the Soylent ideal. But as I look at the stuff that it has, whey protein concentrate, I think everything here is vegetarian or vegan. But it seems to me almost maybe a little bit of kind of like, a protein-like shake. Now, first of all, I want to show you some differences. You can see here that this has nothing but powder in it. Obviously, when you order Soylent in the drink form or the bottle form, it comes pre-mixed. It's pretty heavy. Obviously, it ships with liquid in it, and it's ready to drink. This does not. It's a meal shake with the mix in it, and you have to add water or milk, and that's what it says, cold water or milk. And then you would add that, shake it up, and then you actually kind of top it off and continue to shake. So I thought we'd try it, see what it tastes like. I'm sure everyone's interested. Kind of looks like sand rolling around in there, but like a dried dough or something. Anyway, we'll find out. I kind of expect it to look like, taste like apples based on what I'm seeing here, but who the heck knows? So first of all, you have to add water. The other thing I'm going to throw out there right off the bat, and what kind of surprised me a little bit, because I thought, shipping without the liquid would kind of save you some money. Soylent is about $3 a bottle. For the original flavor, it's actually a little under $3 a bottle, but flavored, you're at about $3 a bottle, but you have to buy them in packs of 12 or more. The Ample I bought in a 6-pack, and it came out to almost $60. So that wasn't just the Ample, it was also Ample plus shipping, but 50-something dollars. So, you're looking at $9-ish, I think. If you didn't have to have shipping and you ordered a larger quantity of them, I think the cost is maybe a little closer to $6, so don't base it on my small sample size here just for testing. But $6 versus $3, you're looking at a 2x price disadvantage that the Ample has over the Soylent. But that might be all made up on tasting. So we're going to open this up here. I have some water with me. It's kind of a water bottle. And as I smell it, I'm getting licorice and tropical fruits. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a whiskey tasting. What I'm getting is a lot of, it smells like alfalfa. It's actually not very strong. It does kind of only a mild taste. It actually kind of smells like animal feed, that scent of animal feed you get when you walk into a barn. It's not bad. It's not particularly pleasant either. All right, so I do have cold water here. I'm just going to go ahead and add, according to the directions, it says fill it up about halfway. I'm going to maybe go a little bit more because you don't actually have to put much water in there because there's so much stuff And you can see it kind of clumps up. And so let's go ahead and give it a shake. I'm going to be right back because I think I might have to give this quite a bit of shake. Shaking this a little while here. One of the things that's a problem is kind of getting where it's maybe stuck to mix. And I've kind of been banging on the table trying to get some of this, the bigger clumps to unstick and shake. So that's kind of one of the disadvantages of having it in a powder form. I'll keep shaking this sucker though until my arms fall off, and we'll get it effective. All right, so I've got it pretty well mixed here, and then the last thing you do is you open it back up, basically top it off. It says till about an inch below the neck, and then you continue to shake it. So it definitely absorbs the powder because I'm pouring in a lot more water than I was able to get in earlier. So we've got it kind of topped off there, and I'll go back to the shaker. Okay, so I've gotten it mixed up here. I shook it up. I kind of topped it off. As you can see, I'm maybe just a little bit lower than the neck here. So I think I've got it about as mixed up as you can. Now, one of the things I can tell you from a practical standpoint is I do grab Soylent on my way to work. I have some in my desk. Whatever, I kind of just crack one open when I want something to tide me over. If you're going to have to add water and shake it, the fact that it's a powder does make it a little more portable and lighter and easier to carry around, and probably doesn't need to, be refrigerated, so you don't have to worry about spoilage. But shaking it up could be kind of annoying, especially if you're like working in a cubicle and your neighbors always hear you shaking this all the time. All right, so kind of keep that in mind. It's not a super easy thing. It's not like a thick syrup that you add water and kind of let it dilute effectively. In fact, I should point it out, kind of getting some of the big clumps at the bottom is a little tough. So what's interesting here is you can kind of see it. You do have some pretty big particulate. If this were an emergency situation and this was water I was pulling out of a stream, I would certainly try to filter out some of this turbidity with a bandana or something before I tried to boil the water. But that's what the Ample is supposed to do. Is it's supposed to give you kind of these chemicals in a meal form. So it doesn't look nearly as smooth and as blended as a Soylent, but I think that's kind of its thing. It is definitely like kind of a applesauce brown though. All right, so let's go ahead and open it up, take a little sniff. It's probably gonna be a little more pungent now. It doesn't actually smell bad. It actually kind of smells a little bit like, now it actually smells better with the water than it did. Almost a little apple juicy, but I don't want to say like kind of the crust on a McDonald's apple pie. That's kind of what it smells like a little bit. So, and that's what it looks like. Kind of looks like swamp water. Let's put it that way. All right, now for the big test. Let's give a couple swallows here. Oh yeah. So you can kind of taste the grittiness. I don't know if letting it sit for a while after you shake it, things dissolve a little bit better, but it's definitely kind of like a chalky grittiness with kind of the particulate of the mix in there. It's not hard to drink, but you can just kind of taste the texture. It's not like kind of smooth as a Soylent. It doesn't taste bad, but it doesn't taste great. It maybe has a little bit of a chalky texture. It's kind of it's a little hard to put my finger on it. You don't really pick up the taste until the aftertaste, really. It hits your tongue. It's very bland, nondescript. It's a little watery, actually. It's kind of runny. It's not until you kind of breathe through your nose on the swallow that you kind of smell that, that kind of very organic, weedy flavor. There's almost a little bit of like apple flavor to it, maybe a little bit of apple taste. It's not bad. That's not a really great description, I understand. But it's not bad. You could certainly drink it. It's no worse than the original Soylent, which tastes like the milk you have left over after eating a bowl of Cheerios, which I'm not actually really a big fan of the Soylent drink. It kind of is like my Lanta and pancake batter. This actually maybe has a little bit more of a, I don't know, it kind of tastes more like there's like real food in it, perhaps. But it could definitely take a little getting used to. Now, I don't know if they ever recommend putting anything with it, if you could put a dab of honey or something like that, but if you could, maybe you could flavor it just a little bit. I certainly wouldn't want to defeat the whole purpose of it, but 400 calories, if you drank 4 of these a day, 1,600 calories, that's probably a pretty good intake number, or 5 even. You get to 2,000 calories, you're probably kind of the average calorie intake, but I think it would certainly help if they had some other flavors or kind of had some ideas on how to flavor it and make it a little bit more, a little more appealing, and give yourself a little variety. I think if you were really kind of downing this stuff repeatedly, bottle after bottle during the day, it might get a little boring. But it's really interesting. I think the technology and the effort out there and the increased competition on coming up with bottled meal replacements, like true meal replacements, not protein shakes, not shakes specifically designed for a specific deal, as like to lose weight or to build muscle or things like that. I think it's really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing more and more development in the space, and hopefully more and more prices come down, because it's kind of interesting to have a product like Soylent where it's $3 a bottle, and for literally $9 or $12 a day you could feed yourself and be sustainable. It's actually a pretty good deal. So really cool. I'm excited about the guys and the founder here at Ample doing some really interesting things. I paid for this with my own money because I was just curious to see if this was something I was going to supplement my Soylent routine. I will probably generally stick with Soylent, but mixing one of these in, and certainly having these because they're light and portable, one in my backpack or something like that I can mix up with some bottled water when I need a meal and don't have access to anything, I think is really, really cool. The other thing I would say about this is if you're a traveler, it would be really awesome because there's no liquid. I don't think you'd have to worry about them getting through TSA. Maybe you put a couple of these in a backpack or a carry-on and you get stranded in an airport or something like that. You actually would fend off hunger, camping, survivalists, backpacking. Again, it's light and easy to carry. I think it could make a lot of sense over something that's already pre-mixed like Soylent. So there you have it. Ample meal. I like it. I'll put a link to it in the description. I'll put a link to Soylent too if you want to try that out. Peter Von Panda out.